Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, known as the Queen Who Never Was, and her dragon Meleys, known as the Red Queen, will die in episode 4 of season 2 of House of the Dragon. It was expected to happen this season based on the books, but it was 100% confirmed by the official trailer as well as leaked photos from the filming set. Rhaenys will die a heroic death fighting 2 dragons at once at the Battle of Rook's Rest, and she will almost take both King Aegon and his dragon Sunfyre with her. Even more shockingly, Aemond will try to finish off Aegon. Everything in this video will happen exactly the way I say it, so if you don't want anything spoiled, now is your chance to leave the video. Let's take a look at how this will go down. Criston devises a more aggressive strategy for the Greens than his predecessor as Hand Serota Hightower. Criston will plan a trap for the Blacks at Rook's Rest, while also forcing the submission of the nearby Crownlands houses allied with Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. Criston Cole and Gwaine Hightower march out of King's Landing with their army. Lord Rosby and Lord Stokeworth also add their strength to the Green host. The army reaches slightly under 3,000 men in strength by the time they reach Duskendale. Duskendale is caught completely by surprise, unprepared, and quickly falls to Aegon's forces, followed by Criston executing its lord. Lord Staunton and his castle will be next, but he will be forewarned of the approach of Sir Criston's army. He will close the gates of Rook's Rest and send the Raven to Dragonstone to ask for assistance from Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen. Queen Rhaenyra's sons Jacaerys and Joffrey Valerion will be eager to join the fight atop their dragons Vermax and Tyroxys, but Rhaenyra will forbid them to go. Instead, 9 days after Lord Staunton dispatched his plea for help, the sound of leathern wings is heard across the sea and the dragon Meleys appears above Rook's Rest. The Queen Who Never Was arrives alone to aid Lord Staunton. However, Criston is prepared and has his archers and scorpions fire at Meleys. The dragon is unharmed by these attacks, and she responds by burning Criston's soldiers with dragonfire. Criston Cole then unleashes his trap. King Aegon II Targaryen and his brother Prince Aemond appear in the sky atop their own dragons Sunfyre and Vhagar, and attack Rhaenys and Meleys. Princess Rhaenys will make no attempt to flee. With a glad cry and a crack of her whip, she turns Meleys toward the enemy. Rhaenys turns to meet the attack despite the knowledge that Meleys stands no chance against the 2 dragons. The 3 dragons will fight 1,000 feet above the field. When Meleys closes her jaws around Sunfyre's neck, Vhagar will fall upon them from above, causing the 3 dragons to crash to the ground. For free, you can now listen to the entire audiobook Fire and Blood, on which House of the Dragon is based and which covers the entire Targaryen history, including current and future events of House of the Dragon, for free with a notable trial using our link in the description. Although Aemond and Vhagar will rise untouched, Meleys is broken and ripped to pieces from the fall, and Sunfyre has one wing half torn from his body. King Aegon suffers severe burns and broken bones, barely alive. Rhaenys does not survive. She is killed in the dragon fight by the flames, and her blackened body is found beside her dragon. It's interesting that on the show, Prince Aemond will come close to Aegon's broken and burned body and will get his sword out, presumably to kill Aegon, either to take the crown for himself or to end his suffering. But he will be stopped by Sir Criston Cole. This is supported by leaked photos as well as by official trailers, in which we see Aemond putting his sword down after Criston yells at him no. The head of Rhaenys' dragon Meleys will be cut off and taken to King's Landing, to be paraded through the city on a cart. This is a huge blow to Rhaenyra's side, as Rhaenys was the most experienced dragon rider and her dragon Meleys was one of their strongest dragons. But it will be also somewhat of a blow to Aegon's side, as Sir Criston Cole lost 800 soldiers to Meleys' dragonfire, and King Aegon will be left almost dead himself, incapacitated by his burns for the following year. Prince Aemond Targaryen will act as king in his brother's stead while Aegon is recovering. That's why you can see Aemond wielding Blackfyre, the king's sword, as well as the king's dagger. Aegon's injured dragon Sunfyre will also be left flightless and too heavy to be moved, so he will be left behind in the fields of Rook's Rest to eat carcasses and livestock. Rhaenys' husband Lord Corlys Velaryon will be enraged, and will blame her death on Queen Rhaenyra Targaryen, stating that if the queen or her sons had gone with their dragons, his wife would have been alive. Beloved daughter of Lady Jocelyn Baratheon and Prince Aemond Targaryen, faithful wife to Lord Corlys Velaryon, mother and grandmother, the Queen Who Never Was lived fearlessly and died amidst blood and fire. She was 55 years old. Let's also talk about the battle at Rook's Rest, which besides these major events, Rhaenys' death and Aegon's near death, will feature a huge battle on the ground led by Criston Cole and Gwaine Hightower. The battle at Rook's Rest is the most significant battle this season by far. It should be especially impressive considering that the season was cut down to 8 episodes instead of 10, so more budget could be allocated into this battle. Criston, Cole, and Gwaine are leading their armies composed of King Aegon's soldiers, House Hightower's soldiers, as well as House Rosby's and House Stokeworth's men-at-arms, and they sack Duskendale and execute its lord while giving Darkling men the choice to either join his host or be put to the sword. Criston's forces stop short of Rook's Rest to camp in a nearby forest. Criston is heard shouting in the scene to Rook's Rest for battle. Under the command of Cole and Gwaine Hightower, the army comes near the castle of House Taunton and stops at the tree line. A portion of the force, including all the Stokeworth, Rosby, and Darkling men-at-arms, dash for the gates of Rook's Rest. Soon, however, the attackers face a hail of arrows from the defenders of Rook's Rest. Seconds later, their problems get rather a lot bigger and hot as Rhaenys and her dragon Meleys start burning Criston's army. Seeing his men flee before Meleys' flames, Criston decides to instill some bravery back into his men with a rousing speech and a well-timed dragon of their own, men-at-arms. Your king has joined you, hold to your courage, hold to your wits. For the seven have blessed and shielded this host with divine purpose. For the one true King Aegon, advance. Criston's speech works and the entire force advances forward, with Gwaine leading a cavalry charge and Criston at the head of the infantry. All rush both towards Rook's Rest, and the traitorous deserters who understandably lost the will to fight after seeing all their friends getting roasted by a dragon. Rhaenys and Meleys are attacked by Aegon and his dragon Sunfyre at this time. Meleys still poses a major threat to Sir Criston's men. However, Criston himself is thrown from his horse by the force of one of the dragon's blasts, losing his helm in the process. As the field and people around him are reduced to ashes, an unhorsed Criston resorts to using his helm to bash a Darkling man-at-arms face in. Aemond with Vhagar arrives at Rook's Rest a bit later, near the end of the battle for maximum dramatic effect, essentially sealing Rhaenys' fate. After the dragons finish fighting, they crash to the ground. Vhagar rises mostly unharmed, but Meleys and Sunfyre have made some rather large craters in the forest with the impact of their fall. Criston mounts his horse again and, with Gwaine and a few others riding alongside, races through the forest to Aegon's crater. Criston yells at Aemond No, who has his sword out and is staring at the half-burned and half-broken Aegon, stopping Aemond from finishing Aegon. Criston then kneels in front of Aegon and thinks about what he's done. In episode 5, Criston and Gwaine will lead a parade through King's Landing, showing off their captured banners and the head of Meleys. A herald shouts, "Behold, the traitor dragon Meleys, slain at Rook's Rest by your king." Rhaenys Targaryen will die a heroic and epic death in the 4th episode of Season 2 of House of the Dragon. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.